What happens when a young teacher gets attacked by her own students, and the only man who steps in to save her is a single dad veteran? Stay till the end, because when her mother finds out what the school tried to hide, you won't believe what she does next. If this story moves you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it, because what happens here deserves to be heard by everyone. It was Lily Carter's first semester teaching at Lincoln High. Fresh out of college, she carried hope in her eyes and kindness in her heart. Her classroom was warm and colorful, filled with motivational quotes and soft music that played before lessons. But not everyone appreciated her spirit. A small group of seniors, led by Marcus, the son of a wealthy board member, saw her kindness as weakness. At first, it was harmless pranks, glue on her chair, whispers behind her back, fake notes. But when Lily stood up for a shy student they had been tormenting, the group's mockery turned into fury. One rainy evening, after staying late to prepare the next day's lesson, Lily was locking the classroom door when she heard footsteps. Before she could turn, something struck her from behind. Laughter echoed through the hallway. She fell to the floor, pain shooting through her head. A phone light flashed. Someone was recording. The bullies surrounded her, taunting, shoving, and hitting until her voice was too weak to cry for help. Then they ran, leaving her lifeless on the cold hallway tiles. Miles away, in a small apartment above a garage, lived Jack Dalton, a single dad and decorated veteran. After losing his wife to illness, his world revolved around his 10-year-old daughter, Emily, who adored Miss Carter, her favorite teacher. When Lily didn't show up to class the next morning, Emily sensed something was wrong. Jack arrived at the school to pick Emily up early, and that's when he overheard whispers, "She's in the hospital." It was the senior boys. His instincts kicked in. Without waiting for permission, he stormed to the principal's office demanding answers. The staff tried to calm him, insisting it was an accident. But Jack had seen enough accidents in his life to know when something darker was being covered up. He drove straight to the hospital. There, in the ICU, Lily lay connected to machines, bruised and broken. Her mother, Grace Carter, was by her bedside, silent, trembling, her eyes filled with fire. Jack approached gently. "I'm Jack Dalton. My daughter's in her class. I just want you to know, she's not alone." Grace nodded, barely holding back tears. "They said it was just an incident. But my daughter doesn't fall into a coma from an incident." Days turned into weeks. Lily remained unconscious, her name becoming a quiet topic of gossip among students and staff. The bullies, parents used their wealth to silence the truth. School cameras were accidentally wiped, teachers were warned not to speak, and the principal issued a statement blaming an unfortunate fall. But Jack didn't buy it. He began his own investigation. Using his military skills and local connections, he tracked down the hospital security footage, school janitors, and even one frightened student who had seen everything. The truth came out piece by piece: the attack, the recording, the cover-up. He compiled the evidence and handed it to Grace. She stared at the flash drive in her hand for a long time. "They thought they could destroy my daughter's career and get away with it," she whispered. "They just made the worst mistake of their lives." When Lily finally opened her eyes 3 weeks later, her voice was faint, her memory blurred. But she remembered enough: Marcus's voice, the laughter, the pain. Tears streamed down her cheeks as Grace held her hand. That night, Grace made a decision. The next morning, she walked into Lincoln High, not as a grieving mother, but as a storm no one could contain. She was a retired lawyer and once sat on the same educational board the principal now feared. With Jack's evidence in hand, she called a press conference right outside the school gates. Cameras flashed. Reporters swarmed. "This school tried to bury the truth," she declared. "But today, I'm digging it up for everyone to see." She exposed everything: the bullies, the video, the cover-up. She played the recording Jack had recovered. The laughter that once echoed through the empty halls now echoed across millions of screens online. By evening, the story went viral. Parents demanded resignations, the principal was suspended, and the bullies were arrested for aggravated assault. Weeks later, Lily returned to school, her steps weak but her spirit unbroken. The students who once mocked her now stood and clapped as she entered. On her desk lay a card from Emily: "Heroes aren't always soldiers. Sometimes, they're teachers who don't give up. Jack stood at the back of the classroom, giving her a quiet nod of respect. After class, Lily walked over to him. "You didn't have to do what you did," she said softly. Jack smiled. "When good people stay silent, the bad ones win. I wasn't about to let that happen again." Tears welled in her eyes. "You saved my life." He shook his head. "No, Miss Carter. You saved theirs, every kid who'll learn from your courage." Months later, the school was rebuilt under new leadership. A scholarship was established in Lily's name, for students who stood up for others. And as for Grace, she was offered a position on the education board again, this time to make sure no other teacher would ever face what her daughter did. When the sun set behind the newly painted school walls, Lily stood watching the children laugh on the playground. Her scars were still there, but so was her strength. Jack walked up beside her. "You ever think about giving up?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "I did once. But then I realized, every lesson worth teaching begins with pain worth surviving." If this story touched your heart, show your support, hit that like button, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and share it with someone who believes in standing up for what's right. Because sometimes, the fight for justice starts with just one voice.